So just come to straight away. I often think that lying and relaxing is hard. There are yoga traditions that do that. They just come in and say relax. But I find that quite difficult too, so maybe I'm not that evolved. So just come to point and flex the feet a couple of times. And today's class is going to be a mindfulness class. You're beginning to stretch and beginning to wake up the circulation. And then circle the ankles a few times in one direction. Just enjoy the circle. Notice where you skip on your circle. I find little bits, I suddenly have skipped bits, I haven't quite gone smoothly. And then circle your ankles in the opposite direction. And then just open your toes, stretching them out, and then just release and relax, and back down again. And then staying still, let your feet drop out to the side. We're going to focus on the hands as well. So keeping your elbows on the floor, lift your hands to the sky, and extend the palms of hands, the heels of hands, in the same way that you would extend the heels of your feet. And then just point your fingers or just move your wrists in the opposite direction. So you're repeating the same action but on your hands. So the wrists obviously need to be flexible and moved to get the blood flowing from your arms and through your wrists. You can often people can have carpal tunnel syndrome, but just then through into the fingers, and you need blood to your fingers to take away just get to blood to the fingers really for anything, arthritic fingers or anything else. And then just begin to circle the wrists in one direction. And circle the wrists in the opposite direction. Then just spread your fingers out and just curl them in. And spread or flick them out and curl them in. And just do that a couple of times. And then just release and relax your hands back down alongside you. Breathing in, extend your right heel and raise your right arm above your head. The back of the hand can rest on the floor behind you and your elbow can be bent. And then in your own time, when you're ready, breathe out and turn your head to the left, a little bit or a lot. And then rest there as you breathe in and out. And then on your next in-breath, bring your head back to the centre. And on your next out-breath, gently lower your right hand back down alongside you. And then engage your left heel by extending your left heel, left toes up to the ceiling. And breathing in, softening your left elbows. You raise your left hand up above you and behind, maybe resting the back of the hand on the ground. Bend your elbow as much as you need to be comfortable. And when you're ready, turn your head to the right, away from your extended left arm. And stay here for an in and an out breath. And then when you're ready, bring your head back to the centre. And on your next out breath, lower your left arm back down alongside you. Extend both heels. Your feet might need to come a little bit closer together. It's optional, it's where you feel comfortable. And raise both arms up above you. You can join thumbs if you want to, just to extend your arms above you, and they might not connect to the ground, they might just be slightly off the ground. And again, you've got the option of bending the elbows if you need to. This is an extension. It's one of the back movements for optimal health. When you're next exhaling, start to exhale, and you'll find that your arms naturally then follow. It's less effort. And then just release your arms back down alongside you and let your feet fall out to the side. Taking an in and an out breath. And then palms still down, bend both knees and both feet are on the floor, hip width apart. And at any time feel that you might like to press down on your feet just to sort your realign your back, the bottom, things can just move slightly. And then just a couple of pelvic tilts, remedial back movement. By pressing the back down to the ground, as if you're going to lift the bottom, and then moving your tailbones as the tailbone tilts towards the earth and there's a little gap under your back. And just a couple of times, flattening the back as if you're going to lift your bottom, and then releasing. And then just come to stillness. And place the hands on the abdomen, elbows out to the side. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth a few times to your own breath pattern. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And then release that breath. And again, make any adjustments to your feet that you feel that you need to. We're going to be keeping the right foot on the ground and gently hugging the left knee into the chest. Just a static hold. You'll find maybe that as you hug your left knee into the chest, the body relaxes fractionally and you can find that you can hug your knee that little bit further into the chest. Just taking a couple of breaths here. And this time, take your right hand and place it on your right hip bone and let your left knee drop out to the side. And then with the left knee dropped out to the side, just make some circles in one direction. And those circles can be small or they can be quite large. It's just subtly different from holding the knee in close. Just a subtly different circle. And then circle the left knee in the opposite direction. If you wanted to be very strict about this, you would keep your right hip on the ground. But I'm not strict, so you do whatever feels comfortable. And then hugging the left knee into the chest once more. And dropping the hands underneath the left thigh, clasping the fingers together, supporting, embracing the leg. And then raise the leg up to the left leg up to the ceiling and still keep the knees soft if you need to. And once more, just a couple of times, extend the left heel and point it a couple of times. And then circle once more the ankles in one direction and then in the opposite direction. And then just walk the hands up the back of the left leg and stop when you naturally come to your comfortable hold. And then just very gently slide your fingers down the back of your left leg. Bend the left knee into the chest once more. And open the left knee to the left, placing the left ankle on top of the right thigh. And palms either resting, palms down alongside you or on your abdomen. And you naturally will start to sway your knees from side to side. Both knees are going in the same direction. And here your hips are meant to lift off the ground. And how far you sway is up to you. You can sway right over almost, or just a little bit. This figure of 4, which is an upside down pigeon, is excellent for hip health and looks at a little muscle called the piriformis muscle, which is on the outside of your leg joining your pelvis, your hip, and that can tighten, and it can then lead or contribute to back problems, and it's often overlooked, but this is a very gentle way to open that. You're also opening your groin, which connects in and gives space to your lower lymphatic system. And then very gently come to the centre and hug the left knee into the chest again. And then just very gently place the left foot on the floor. Palms down and just connect to swaying your knees from side to side in the same direction. A little bit or a lot, windscreen wiper action. In Kundalini Yoga, which is a style of yoga, the belief is that this energy, our energy, tends to reside at the base of the spine. And there are different ways of releasing that energy to travel upwards, releasing stagnant energy, uncoiling the serpent, or uncoiling the cobra. And this is a gentle one of them. There are much more vigorous ways. And then come to bring your knees to the centre. Make any adjustments that you need to with your feet, your left foot. And then come to bring your awareness to your right side as you hug your right knee into your chest. Just enjoy this hugging in. The right side connects to, of course, our liver and gallbladder. So the right side can often require, often we're right-handed, require a little bit more attention perhaps than the left. If you're right-handed, you tend to perhaps lead with your right foot. So the right side is always putting itself out there. And then very gently place your left hand on your left hip bone and open your right knee, holding it with your right hand to the right. How much you open, it's up to you. And then start circling your right hip in one direction. Your circles can be small or they can be large. Moving the top of the leg, the leg bone, I don't know what the bone name for that is, femur. Is it femur, did you say?
The long bone of the leg.
Yes.
Yeah, the
femur.
End of the femur, yeah.
Femur, thank you. In the hip socket.
Yeah.
So this again is a very simple and effective way to make sure that we are giving our hips every chance to retain their flexibility. And you decide how much your circle is going to be, how big it is. And then very gently circle in the opposite direction. And then hug your right knee into the chest again. And dropping both hands underneath your right thigh, clasping your hands maybe however is comfortable for you. Extend gently and gradually your right foot up to the ceiling. You can keep a bend in your right knee and extend the right heel. Feel that stretch all the way along the back of the right leg. And then point and flex the right foot a couple of times. And then circle the right ankle a few times in one direction. And circle the right ankle again a few times in the opposite direction. And then gradually walk your hands up the back of the right leg, only to as far as is absolutely comfortable for you. Bringing the right leg towards your face. And then gently slide your fingers down the back of your right calf, gradually bending the right knee into the chest. Enjoy that hugging in. And then supporting the right knee, right leg as you open your right knee out to the right and place your right ankle on top of your left thigh, femur. That's the name of the bone. And then hands either resting on the abdomen or palms down as you gently sway your knees from side to side. You'll sway, and how much you sway over is up to you. You can almost bring your knees to the ground or just keep it very, very gently central and rocking. Giving yourself a massage again, across the bottom, top of the bottom, onto the sacrum. All the while, the weight of the body is being supported by the earth. And then very, very gently hug the right knee into the chest. Bring the left knee to join it, so now both knees are hugging into the chest. You're holding both knees with both hands and just gently rock from side to side. And as you rock from side to side, you're also massaging the back of the skull. You might like to involve turning your head a little bit. It's a very natural movement. You're connecting over some acupressure points on the back of the skull. So it's a chance to connect to the head where we perhaps don't otherwise, because when we're asleep it's all very soft, so you don't get those points massaged. And then come to the centre, hug both knees into the chest. Still holding the knees. As you breathe in, let both knees travel away to arm's length. And just repeat that a few times to your own breath pattern, hugging the knees in, and just letting the knees drift away to arm's length. And just a few times, you're massaging up and down the length of the spine, but really focusing on the lower lumbar vertebra, where all that heavy-duty work happens. We're working in, just switching to Ayurveda now, so we're working, that's the end of the medicine side of yoga, and we're working on something called the Vata dosha, which is a combination of elements. All the elements exist in our body, and we've got it in various combinations, but we have a predisposition as we're born with perhaps one constitution or another. But when the Vata, which is the air element, if that goes out of balance, it is responsible for pain anywhere in the body. It's considered what we're doing is considered one of the foundational energies. It's quite complex, but this is just really setting the foundational energy, which has an impact on all the other energies in the body. And then just very, very gently come to hugging the knees into the chest. And while you're here, extend the left leg up to the ceiling and extend the left arm up and behind you, stretching out. Just feel that stretch under the left arm. And when you're ready, reverse that by hugging the left knee back into the chest again. And this is now time to the right side as you extend the right heel up to the ceiling, extend the right arm up behind. It doesn't have to touch the ground, it's just a stretch. And then breathing out, hugging the right knee into the chest. And a couple of times in your own breath pattern. Then just hold the, clasp your hands under your thighs and just raise both legs, bent at the knees to the ceiling. They don't have to be straight at all. And just gently sway from side to side. So this is an inversion. Very helpful for rebalancing in yoga anyway, the entire endocrine system. And in this particular very half gentle, this is like not a full inversion like a headstand or anything like that, but this in this very gentle inversion, you're again massaging across the back of the head, out across the base of the spine. So it's very soothing. And then finally, hug the knees into the chest. And we're going to make preparation to roll to the side and come to however works for you into a very, very gentle seated position. And cross-legged if you can make it. So as we've mentioned arthritis, and we're up now, we can just focus a little bit on the hands. So this we've done before. If you just circle one thumb one way and the other, and then just pull it slightly. And of course, just run your circle one way and the other, each joint, and then just pull, circle, and pull, and pull. The pulling just subtly releases the joints and allows the blood to flow through. That's the theory anyway. And then circle and pull, and then just shake your hands. So when you're at home, you can also just massage up and down, and here, massage up and down, and just in between each. That's another thing that you can do. And of course we're going to change hands. Just circle one way and the other, and just subtly pull to each finger, and linger on the fingers that need particular care. You can do this anytime. If you're putting hand cream or oil on your hands, that's quite nice. Your fingers will glide more. If you're like me, terribly messy, I get it everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I'm not the world's best. I just drip oil everywhere. So anything itis in Eastern terms, I'd be interested in your take on it, but in Eastern terms, it's an accumulation of toxins in the system. We all have toxins, and it's where our
disposition is, and it can accumulate around the joints, which is why I perhaps suggested anti-inflammatory diet, which is very boring. But Charlotte, have you got a view on arthritis?
Certainly it's an inflammation it can be either autoimmune, where your body attacks, your immune system attacks certain tissues in the body, or it can be just due to long-term wear and tear, causing damage to a joint or something like that. So, and then you get accumulation of fluids and chemical, sort of inflammatory chemicals in say the joints. And so within the fluid in the joints, you might have all these sort of inflammatory chemicals, like histamines and things like that, and also the cells that can cause damage to the joints as well.
So would antihistamines help?
Not really, no. It's not that kind of, the sort of inflammatory chemicals like histamines, but antihistamines as such don't really help arthritis, no.
But an anti-inflammatory diet, which is also follow, is a low histamine diet.
Is it? Oh, that's interesting.
And you can have, it's an anti-inflammatory, but then the low histamine diet is everything anti-inflammatory, but a couple of other things. And I was really shocked that a couple of things on the low and high in histamine are spinach and strawberries.
Well, strawberries have oxalate in them, and so people that have joint problems sometimes have problems with strawberries because they've got a chemical called oxalic acid in them, and that can cause accumulation of oxalate crystals in the joints. So some people find strawberries not helpful. But it really depends on the kind of arthritis you have.
I think, again, histamine, I'm really interested in your thing. It says if you've got rheumatoid arthritis, that's autoimmune, isn't it?
That's right.
It tends to show up on both sides equally,
Yes.
and if it's osteoarthritis, it's like randomly one side or the other. Is that?
Tends to be, because osteoarthritis is more a sort of wear and tear type of arthritis, a bit more of a wear and tear arthritis, not entirely true, but so you might, with rheumatoid, you tend to get bilateral. You got rheumatoid, it's at the end.
Both fingers.
Yes, I mean you can get osteoarthritis in both hands as well, of course, but yeah, in general speaking, yes, that's true.
And then the other thing is dairy and yogurts and things like that are absolutely ruinous for arthritis. Ruinous for arthritis. I can talk to you ad nauseum about the Eastern view, but I haven't got any medical backup.
But then, on the other hand, you'd say that the gut microbiome likes live yogurt. So live yogurt would be good for your gut.
So I ordered them, interesting, but I don't have not very much at the moment. River Cottage from Abel & Cole, live yogurt culture, natural yogurt.
Yes.
So I do make a nod to that. I do make a nod to that.
That's good for your gut. So it's difficult to, I don't know.
But then yacht play, full of sugar kind of.
Oh no,
yogurt's not good.
That kind of thing. No. But I think a live yogurt would be
good. Okay, so
I'm not sure it's been studied for inflammatory arthritis conditions as such. I don't know what's been studied, I don't know.
Okay.
But certainly it's good if you're looking at your gut microbiome and balancing, good health generally, then live yogurt is things along with things like kefir,
Yes.
and kombucha, all those fermented things
Yes.
as well, and along with live yogurt, that's good for your gut and calms inflammation.
I did was going to go on a wellness course for diet. But while we just sit up and down while I talk to keep you moving. And I've got some very lovely, I can show them to you, sachets of prebiotics that I add to a smoothie. And I've got some probiotics as well.
What's
So
the difference?
prebiotics are more fibre-based, aren't they? They're the kind of potatoey kind of thing. Is that right?
Yes, that's right,
Your
yeah.
Body needs.
Probiotics, prebiotics is like fibre that kind of bulk up the stool and help the bugs have something to sort of live on and nice. Probiotics actually encourage bacteria, encourage healthy bacteria. They've actually got bacteria engines in them.
And then omega-3 with the oils, that's quite good for arthritis.
Yes,
as well,
that's
isn't
it. Fish oil is very good for that. It's very, yeah. Omega-3. So you can get that in nuts, so walnuts.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
But then you can smooth them up in a...
Yeah, that's good. Oily fish, yes.
So, you could go on, couldn't you? So, just do a couple of times, and as we've sat for a while and talked, I'm going to invite you to release that stretch and put your legs out in front of you, which might be relief. As we had a, just bounce the legs and just patterned. Oh, thank you. Age. You know, the body's meant to sort of last perfectly right, and things slightly
Things like sort of slightly, yeah, things like slightly drop off,
Yeah.
don't they?
go wrong, and it's very
Yeah, it is very annoying.
annoying. Yes, very annoying. And then just again with the feet, we'll start with the left, bring up the left knee. For the joint, the left joint, knee joint, just sway and swing. So I know your knees are all right now, aren't they?
Well, yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So this is very good for lubricating the knee,
Okay.
the synovial fluid. And then just turn your knee out to the left. If you don't want to hold it, you can just put your foot on the floor. You don't have to sort of, haul it up. And again, you can do the same here. You can do your this is arthritis as well. Big toe and just pull. Maybe just massage there. Same. Pull. Just do each toe in turn. And just pull. And just pull. And if you can bear to thread your fingers through, do it. If not, then just bring your hands over the top and just up and down, stretching out under the toes. You can hold your foot and just circle one way, your ankle one way and then the other. And it's a manual stretch. In the same way that when you let your hip drop out, your knee drop out to the side and circle it's a subtly different perspective doing it manually than just circling your ankles. I don't know why. And then just wiggle your toes. Just get your knuckles and rub. If Sue were here, she would go through all bits of the body, but just rub wherever it feels. Rub here, just anything. Really kind of helpful. The outside. I think the spine is on the outside of the foot.
The gut was in the middle of the foot, wasn't it?
Gut was in the middle. I think spine is on the outside.
On the outside, yeah.
On this bit.
Oh yes, that's right, because she said you've got all the different little notches on
Yes.
the foot, that's right.
Vertebrae.
Yeah, oh, I've got tender support now.
Yes, I have as well.
Yes, that's right, you're right, it was on the outside of the foot. She said you can work your way down from the little toe and find the sort of notches that correspond to the different vertebrae.
She used to be brilliant. She is a brilliant reflexologist, and then she had an operation on her thumb, which stopped it, and then of course she grew her nails, and then had manicures. So it's too long to do. She can't do it. So not that she moans at them and just release and then just bounce. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Just do the other knee. Just just synovial fluid. And opening out to the side, and not in any particular order. You can extend, you can thread, oh no, that's right, you can just do your toes, pulling. The arthritis accumulates because in the top, we get overloaded, stress, life, food, blood, whatever, predisposition, and the toxins accumulate. And movement is the opposite of stagnation. So arthritis likes to settle. If it's in a joint that's not being moved to its full capacity, then it will settle there. But if you're just gently moving it, you're encouraging the blood to go through, and it's just releasing a build-up of stagnation, and that's the Eastern thought behind it. Along with diet and not stressing, which is my my problem. For whatever else I do, I kind of stress, as Jen daily reminds me. And then just there, or thread your fingers through if you want to. That gives a stronger, that's a more yogic thing, but some people cannot bear their fingers through their feet. Just really winds them up, just circle your ankle in one direction, the other. Your feet, you've got 5 energy bands in the body, and one of them is under the feet, the other's perineum, diaphragm, throat. You've got other little ones, but only those are the main ones. And so doing the feet, because the energy band is just under the feet, clears again your foundational energy, because your energy vibration extends, if you could see it, more beyond our physical. You've got, that when the electricity, you've got a little bit beyond that. So this gets into that. It's setting your foundation, and then whatever, you get your knuckles and just massage, and just linger wherever it works for you. Which toe is sore or which toe isn't. Sue would say on the top, between the bones, the little gap, the socket between the bones, is your upper lymphatic system. And she would also tell you that your ankle, both in and outside the ankle, is your lower lymphatic system. So just massaging around the ankle again helps. But we tend to ignore our feet.
Yeah.
So they're just little things that you can do for your feet. It's not as nice as having someone do it for you. I know that. But then just very, very gently, just release, just enjoy your stroking, tapping, whatever you want to do, like dry skin brushing. If you were being very precise, if you were pulling, you pull towards the heart, you pull up. Would you? Yes, I think you would.
Yeah.
You pull towards the heart, but the thing here was you go down, don't you, away.
You don't go like that then? I don't know, you're the one that knows.
On an aura cleanser, you brush down, you brush the energy down.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It feels more natural.
It does feel more natural, but I don't know why you bring it up to the heart. It's interesting, I don't know, you don't go down, you can do, but you tend to come up, don't you?
Yeah.
And then, just to get you onto your hands and knees, we'll just do a couple of cat-cows. I'm guessing that downward dog doesn't work for you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe. Well, okay. All right then, so a couple of cat-cows on hands and knees. And breathing in, dipping your back, looking either up or on the mat. Breathing out, rounding, chin to chest. Just a couple of times in your own breath pattern. Then, as you round your back, tap your toes, tummy in, come to a downward dog, optionally. Soften your knees, then begin to extend them. Move your feet wide if you need to. Bring your feet closer to your hands if you need to. And walk the dog a couple of times. Engage your tummy in. And you'll find, or I find, if you look at your thumbs, and then you look back from your thumbs towards your navel, towards your bottom, that engages your tummy a little bit more. And then very, very gently walk your feet to your hands to your feet. Just keep your knees bent to support your torso on top of just let yourself hang forward, and then gently press your feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. I did a neti pot, I haven't got a cold. So, salted water, and I can just feel it. So just lift and roll your shoulders. And breathing in, stretch the hands up, thumbs together, and just go from side to side. So this is another Vata movement for balancing Vata. So that's balancing pain, interestingly. And then just come to the centre.
And hands down through the centre to the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, curl in. Half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. And then softening your knees, press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up, stretching up, clasp and reverse, look up and almost stretch backwards. Then bring your head to the centre and lower your hands and lift and roll your shoulders. Hands together once more at the heart centre. Circle the hands up, stretch, palms together, come back through the centre, soften the knees and come to your half lift once more. Lengthen along the spine, softening in, bending. Half lift again. Stay here as you breathe out. And then softening your knees, pressing your feet down and rolling up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And stretching up. And lowering the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. Lift and roll the other shoulder. Lift and roll both shoulders. And then come to have the palms up. Breathing as a breath exercise out. Bring the palms back. Palms down. And down. Again. Breathing in, turn your head to the left. Breathing out to the right. Into the left. And out to the right. Into the left. Out to the right. Into the left. Bring the head back to the centre, palms together, and come to seated position. And just breathing in, lengthen and curl forward. Come to upright. Just slide the left hand to the left. Bending at the at the right elbow, just come over to the left, just bounce in and out, tummy in, press your left fingers into the ground to support you to come up, and then slide your hand, the right hand to the right, just coming over, tummy in, press your right fingers down, coming up.
And then just very gently walk your fingers slightly forward. Feel that you're leading from your chest. And then just come forward. You might not go very far. It's a gentle, relaxed forward bend. And if you feel that you're better off with your hands on your knees, then please do that. But just forward, calming for the nervous system. Tummy in, walk the fingers back. And just bring the hands to the head, to either side of your ears, connecting to your head. This is the first Reiki move in Reiki healing. You can self-heal too, which is what we're doing. You would spend in a Reiki session 5 minutes at least on this, just doing this. We're not going to spend that long there. And then very gently, it doesn't matter which hand, take one hand to the forehead and one hand to the back of the head. You can never pronounce it, occipital. And just, you might like to...
Occiput is the back of the head.
Occiput.
Yes, occipital is an adjective, occiput is the noun.
Okay, thank you. Take your hand to the back, so it's your occiput. And just might you want to have your head slightly down. I don't like it with my head up. Just press your hand on one forehead and at the back of your head. Just supporting and cradling the head. These movements come within somatic yoga, where it's believed you're bypassing your thought process and just sensing in the head. It's a sensory movement, feeling. When you feel and cut out the stress, it becomes very much a mindfulness exercise. And then take the hand at the back of your head, away from the back of the head, and just place it at the heart so you come more upright. Head-heart connection. And again, you can stay here for quite a long time. It's very calming. For the nervous system here, we're connecting to the third eye and to the heart centre. But on an emotional level, of course, you're connecting to your heart, all kinds of feelings there, and your third eye is very much intuition and knowledge. It's where you feel things, have a sense of connects. There's also the pineal and pituitary. Pineal gland, really. Pituitary, I think, is further back. Is that right, Charlotte? Pituitary is further back in the head. And then just take a hand from the third eye and drop it to your navel. So you're now connecting your heart and your stomach, and there's a connection there. Again, calming. The nervous system. You find perhaps that when you've got your hands here, you tend not to slouch down, you just lift up a little bit, giving space for the organs. And then we're going to finish either by keeping our hands exactly where they are, or bringing both hands to the heart and taking a bow for yourself. So thank you very much for joining me.